Mission Granbury, how can I help you?
Is this the women's shelter?
Yes, it is. My name is Caroline. How can I help you?
Do you have room for a woman and 2 kids?
We may be able to assist you with that. First, could you give me your name?
My name is Rhonda.
My name is Caroline. I want to let you know that everything we talk about is confidential, okay?
Okay.
So you said you're in need of shelter?
Yes.
For you and 2 children.
Please.
Are you in a safe place to talk right now?
Yes. It's about my husband, and he's not here right now.
Okay. Rhonda, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on?
We've been married for about 5 years, have 2 kids, and everything seemed to be going okay. But then about 6 months ago, he started doing drugs, and he lost his job. So he's not working right now. He hardly works at all. He yells at me a lot, and then a couple of days ago he knocked me down and kicked me. So, well, things are really starting to get bad. Last night he didn't like what I cooked him for dinner, and so he threw the bowl at me. Anyways, I wasn't sure whether to call you or not. I don't know what to do. Things are just getting worse.
Okay, so you say he's been doing drugs and he gets physically and verbally violent with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of understand why he says those things to me. I can't blame him, because I'm not so smart and probably am not the best wife, and sometimes I do things wrong. But, so I'm really starting to get worried about the kids, and I don't know what to do.
Well, Rhonda, I'm glad you gave us a call. It definitely sounds like you need a safe place, and you're welcome to come to our shelter. I do have space available for you and 2 children. Now, are these his children as well?
Yes.
Would you like to go ahead and come in today?
If I can.
Yes, that's fine. I'll need you to get your things together. You can bring 2 bags per person. So bring some clothes and any needed medications and important documents and paperwork if it's safe for you to get those. Okay?
Okay, he's supposed to be home around 6. Can we come in before then?
Yes, you can come in as soon as you're finished packing. Do you have your own car?
Yes.
Okay, Rhonda. If he comes home before you leave, I want you to call 911 immediately. You can tell them that we're providing shelter for you and the kids. Now, what I'm going to have you do is call me when you're on your way. I'll arrange for a female staff member or a volunteer of ours to meet you. They will meet you at...
None of us are exempt from life's struggles. All seems well. Then, without warning, we suddenly find ourselves jobless and unable to feed and clothe our family. The rent comes due. Utilities are suddenly turned off. Or, as in the scenario you just saw, you are the victim of domestic violence and in need of shelter. Children, the most vulnerable and innocent among us, are sometimes neglected. We simply need someone to come alongside us, to help us get our feet back on solid ground. It's not merely that we need a handout, we also need our dignity restored. It is for this reason, and many others, that Mission Granbury exists. We often receive letters from those who receive assistance.
Mission Granbury gave us food and information for other places that were able to help us get back on our feet. It's still a struggle, but thanks to Mission Granbury, we are getting there, one baby step at a time. Thank you, and God bless.
I want to thank all the ladies at the Ada Carey Center. Without them, I would never have made it through this time in my life. I want to thank Caroline for welcoming and comforting me on my first day here. To Rebecca and the others who let me just talk and cry at night when nightmares kept me from sleeping. To Sarah when I felt like all hope was lost. To everyone for all the kindness and the touch I needed in my life as my kids and I are rebuilding our lives. I could not have asked for a better place to have come to.
This one came from one of our volunteers who reported the progress of a couple who received assistance.
A homeless couple came to us after being kicked out of the place where they had been staying. We were able to provide a place for them to stay. We provided clothing, food, and hygiene products. They went to the Texas Workforce Commission where the lady found a job that day. The man was able to find work the very next day. Just thought you might like hearing a success story.
I want to thank all of you for the things you have provided for me and my grandchildren while they lived with me. May God be with all of you and continue to provide for you to help others in need.
Just wanted to thank you again for helping my son with his water bill. You and Mission Granbury are the best.
I live in the best of all worlds. I work with children, and they are so precious. And some of their stories just really touch my heart and stay with me over the years. Years ago, I had a little one that I actually found the adoptive family for. I've seen her a number of times since then, and she calls me her Casa Grandma. And one of the things that I've really treasured is that, like with all of our children, every child comes through and has a casa, gets a quilt made just for them. I have one little fellow that was going to be adopted, and when he first came to meet with the adoptive parents, he was only 2 years old. And the foster mom opened the door, and the prospective mother was standing there, and she asked him, "Do you know who this is?" And he just screamed, "Mommy," and ran across the room to her and threw himself in her arms. You get me crying on this one. It was one of the most beautiful things. And these children, there were 3 of them, went on to have the most incredible home. And to know that you've made a little bit of a difference in a child's life is probably the most special thing that
We had a woman give us a call on our hotline, and she was complaining of abuse. She said that her husband had alienated her from her family and from her friends for months on end. She had a 5-month-old child, and the 5-month-old child actually was suffering from vitamin D deficiency because the baby was not able to go outside. He had gone to work one day, and she was able to escape, and she left the residence and was able to contact us and got to our shelter. She did receive counseling while she was at the shelter, and so did the children as well. We could see her make baby steps as she was getting a little less fearful. Even when the garbage truck would come to the shelter, she asked for our staff to let her know that they were coming because she did not want to be outside when that occurred. The county attorney had come out and met with her. We got her a protection order. He was actually arrested, and once he was behind bars, she knew that she was safe, and she was able to transition from our shelter to go live with a family member where she felt safe. People typically think it's the poor people that come into the shelter, people that are minorities, but no, it crosses all socioeconomic boundaries. It crosses every single line.
Some of the children or students were coming to school on Monday morning and they were lethargic, or they just couldn't seem to focus or pay attention. And the counselors and the school nurses did some work and realized that these were kids that were only eating while they were at school. The different pantries in the area are each responsible for a campus. We happen to be responsible for the high school so that they can have some food over the weekend where they're not losing sleep and come back to school ready to learn. The bread and the fresh produce and the meat are donated by our local grocers. So what we mainly are in need of is the canned foods, or even like dry cereals and dry potatoes and rice and stuff like that. Oh, we love our volunteers, and they love to work in the food pantry. They shop with the clients, they go through, they smile, you know, they're warm and friendly. And you know what? By blessing others, you can't help but be blessed as well.
Mission Granbury is here to help. But in order to do so, we need you. We need volunteers. Food is needed for the food pantry. Your gently used clothing and household furnishings are greatly needed and appreciated. Let those in need know that Mission Granbury is here to provide assistance. And finally, we rely heavily on the generosity of organizations and individuals like you. Give us a call or drop by. We would love to meet with you and share more about how Mission Granbury is helping to rebuild damaged lives within our community.